All right now. Welcome in. Welcome in. Enjoy the show. Yes. All right. And please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it if you would. Hopefully, this will help you out. All right now. Well, welcome in. I see some people. I really appreciate you coming in. And let's go. Let's do this. All right. Hello. This is I Bring It Every Day. And my name is Kelly. And today we're here for Motivation on Monday. And so we're going to get our week started on a positive note. And that's it. That's why we're here. All right. Let's say hello to the people in the chat. We got a couple people. So we have Butterroll Boutique, I see. We have Racine. Racine was number one. Good morning, Kelly. Thank you. Butterroll Boutique is number two. And then we have Aisha, number three. Yes. And Sweet Pea Sid's Inspirations. Very nice. So thank you all so much for coming. I'm telling you. So I'm just trying to, I think I'm okay today. Working out these technical things. It's always interesting. But yeah, it's been very, very good. So welcome in. So the last couple of weeks, I'm just going to reiterate what we've covered. And it also, hopefully it'll all come together. So a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about happiness. And we're going to, we'll touch on that a little bit. And then last week, I was talking about how crazy it is, how fast this year is going. And I've seen some things like out in the YouTube, people like are kind of going, oh yeah, it's crazy, right? So I'm glad I'm able to inspire people to kind of think, like reflect on time, because let me tell you, time is short. You know what I mean? So you really have to make the most of what you have. Yeah. So yes. So there it is. But let's go to the first quote for today. And like I said, so in light of time flying so fast, I just wanted to reiterate. I just want to retouch on that and stuff that you can do to sort of get yourself moving. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole thing. We just want to make sure we're moving forward and really just enjoying life. You know what I mean? And just sort of taking a moment to really reflect and then live in the moment. And that's kind of what I was kind of saying. Like, man, I felt like I was living in the moment, but yet not, because like I said, I looked a couple weeks ago and it was like July 28th, 27th. I was sort of prepping for the show and I said, oh my gosh, like the year's gone. It's more than half gone. And so that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? And I kind of remember starting out the year thinking, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And I did most of those things, but there's a few things that I omitted. But I think a lot of times people just get caught up in the moment of life and they don't really kind of live it as it's going. But maybe that's what it is. You're living it so much as it's going that you're sort of not thinking forward and just reflecting on saying, okay, did I accomplish what I had planned on today, last week, last month, last year? Stuff like that. So that really left me kind of last week. And I don't know how you felt about that, but that's where I was. Yeah. So good morning, beautiful people. Pebbles Pico. Good to see you. Yes. Yes. So anyway, so here it is. These are the quotes for today. Let's see if I don't lose my page. All right, so here it goes. So last week I was saying, life is short and it's here to be lived. And that's Kate Winslet. And that's kind of what really kicked me in the head. It said, girl, you got to live this life because life is short. Can be short, But anyway, so for today, this is from Jim Rohn. And he said, either you run the day or the day runs you. So, and that's kind of, talking about life, in the past, we've all kind of looked at, like I said, when I looked at the year being more than half over, like there's basically a quarter left, which is 3 months. Yeah. Well, a little more than that, but we've gone through 2 quarters and a little bit. Yeah. So there's 4 quarters, right? And so, you can't let life run you. You really have to sort of take a little time to reflect every day. And I'm hoping that with all this, just a little bit of reflection, it doesn't take a whole lot of time, but, you can do it in several ways. You can sort of like when I know sometimes I get up, pretty early and I sort of take a moment and sort of say, okay, what's on the schedule for today? And what do I want to do today? And then I sort of just go with it from there. But, like I said, sometimes just life just takes you in such a fast pace that you don't realize that time is flying. Yeah. So anyway, so you don't want life to run you, right? You sort of want to take a little bit, not that we have total control of our lives, but it's just good to have, you know, endpoints that you just sort of want to meet. Yeah. At least I think so. And let me know what you think about that in the chat if that makes any sense. All right. And then what you do today can improve all of your tomorrows. And this one is Ralph Marston. And sort of like what I was saying, last week, if you sit, if you don't get going, let's say if there's something on your, bucket list and you want to make it happen, you sort of have to say, okay, this is my bucket list. Oh, we have, cruising. Good to see you. Can't stop walking, but love mowing and cruising. Good to see you. Yes. Good morning, everyone in the room and host in smiley faces. Yes. Very nice. Thank you. But that's the thing, you have to sort of, think about your, you can think of long-term goals. And what I mean by long-term would be, 6 months, or maybe a year out to 3 to 5 years. I mean, that's how far I usually look ahead. And I, I used to work for corporations, and corporations always do the I forget how they call it. They call it the 3-6-9, the 3 months, 6 month, 9 months during the year. And then they have these 5-year plans, that they look at all the time. And but the funny thing about it is, I don't think in a lot of ways that they ever went back and then sort of reassess where they were, at between that 5-year plan, at least not to my satisfaction. You know what I'm saying? So you constantly have to reevaluate, kind of where you are. And I sort of do that in the morning when I'm trying to wake up and get out of bed. And I kind of go, okay, I slept good, thanks to the Most High for waking me up. And then I just kind of go, all right. So today, there's usually 1 or 2 or 3 things that I'm trying to accomplish. And I kind of leave it at really small, like manageable chunks. You know what I mean? Like you can have a 5-year plan, but that's a long time. You know what I mean? So like a lot of times, like I said, what people do is they do short-term goals. So short-term would be, a week, a month, 3 months, something like that. And then you go from there. Oh, okay. I see some people. Yay. So we have Tuber chat came in. I see. Shared. Oh, thank you so much for sharing it on Reddit. Word up. And hashtag VOM. Hello. How are you doing? And she's saying good morning, host in chat. Awesome to see you guys. So anyway, so let me just step back for a moment. So like I said, reaching the month of July, the end of July actually, freaked me out. I'm going to be honest. And so I just sort of wanted to reiterate, just how quickly life can go. And I, not that I look at celebrity and things like that, but I was thinking about, well, anyway, I'll just tell you this little story. And this sort of got me on this thing as well. Is a few weeks ago, I met up with a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in many years because she moved thousands of miles away. And, you sort of lose touch. This was somebody that I had known from kindergarten. And this is like the strangest thing. Like it kicks you in the stomach, but not to bring the room down. But what happened was, it's I hope it's not sharing a little too much, but what happened was her sister passed away from a pretty serious cancer, like a childhood cancer. And she passed away. Like we did the math, and she said, yeah, my sister's been gone for 40 years, and she was 13 years old at the time, or 12 or 13. I could be wrong because my memory's starting to fade. But she was about 13 years old. And I remember kind of going, whoa, you know what I mean? That's one of those things in life. It just kicks you, because you're just like, and when I think about it, I said to myself, oh my gosh, 13, that's all she had. Right. Then you think of like famous people. Like I'm listening to music and things like that. And they were talking about Otis Redding. And I really didn't know much about him, but he passed away when he was 26 years old, which is incredibly young. So then I say, "Oh my gosh." Like, so anyway, so just thinking about these passings and stuff, I said, "What the heck have I done with my life?" You know what I mean? And so, not to scare people, but I'm just saying, like, life can be really short. And, you know, Otis Redding accomplished a lot in his life. But then I say to myself, what have I done? And so for me, I'm kind of on the quiet level. So I've accomplished like some education goals, like I reached those. And that was good. And and you have to sort of celebrate those accomplishments as they go. But then I said, but then after that, what have I done? So I've worked like most people. You get a job, you work hard, you get some promotions along the way, you get some monetary stuff along the way, and it's all good. But then you go, but then what? And then what? Like, is money going to satisfy you? Is and then you start to think, okay, what's the legacy? What do I want to leave behind? In the world, right? And so I've been sort of doing this YouTube thing, for a couple of years now, and I I'm gonna say, like, I was really, really late getting to social media, like really, really late. And the thing that I realize is that there's like a lot of negativity and stuff like that with social media. And I just had no idea. You know what I mean? Because I was late. Like Facebook, I joined Facebook, I put a page up and it sat empty for like, I don't even know how many years, like more than 5. I know it was 5 to 7 to 10. It might have been 10. I don't know, not 10, but it was like at least 5 years. It just sat there. And I never really put anything on there. And I wasn't really interacting with people, on Facebook. Yeah. And I said, oh my gosh, it's crazy. Right. But anyway, got Zach came in. Thank you, Zach. Good to see you. Let's see. Okay. This is interesting. So you thought the same thing. This is Can't Stop Walking, but Love Mowing and Cruising. I thought the same thing the night I almost lost my life. That's why I cruise and trap. Okay. Bam. That's it. You know what I mean? And I just went, wow. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, because he has an interesting story on his channel. So check him out. And yeah, so if you want to drop your channel link, just type in Kelly, Kelli, and people can hear your story because it's very, very interesting. Like the near death experiences. And I've been sort of watching fun. It's funny that you mentioned that. I've been watching a couple of those on YouTube, and I forget the name of the channel, but a couple of people have told some really interesting stories. But oh yeah, so the thing that's even more interesting is the woman whose sister passed away very, very young, and it was tragic. You know what I mean? It was just like, I think we were just all in shock. Like clearly, like if I was in shock and I wasn't even involved, I know their family had to be in shock for the whole process. Chemotherapy, all this stuff. You know what I mean? And then the passing, like it was just, it was horrible. And so, you sit there and you just go, oh my gosh, like life can be really, really short. And then you always wonder, like, what would I know you shouldn't wonder about what would have been, but sometimes you wonder, like, geez, 13 is young. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, and so these near death experiences, people have told a lot of stories about like what happened to them. But anyway, but this woman told me that whose sister passed said she had a near death experience. And I just went, oh no, like she's been through so much. And there's other stuff, you know what I mean? But oh my gosh, I just went, that is crazy. You know what I mean? So I have a really boring life. And I guess in some ways that's good for me. Because it's like, near death experience. That's crazy. So anyway, but then we got Sandra. Hello. Let's see. I crochet Sandra West. Good to see you. Hello, beautiful. How are you? Oh, well, thank you. I got some sleep last night. It helps. Yes. So anyway, so that's kind of, where this whole thing sort of started. And meeting up with these people, from my past was really interesting because it sort of takes you back to where, you go, oh my gosh, that was such a long time ago, And I just remember going, oh, thank you for the Facebook love. That's Moses and my husband. He's very nice. He helps me out sometimes. So, and thank you for the share on Reddit, Kevin. That's awesome too. So yeah, I mean, so there's things like that. So you think about these people who are really young and you wonder, like, did they, I guess, I mean, it's a lot for me to ask, like, did they get everything done? And that's the question that I think in my mind, have I gotten everything done that I want to do? And that's kind of where we are. Yeah. Yes, yes. Let me go down here. Oh, Carol's here. Carol's Crazy Crochet and More. Thanks for coming in. She's one of the members. So thank you so much for all the support. And everybody, thank you so much for the support. Because, without support on this channel, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? And I think maybe this might be my where I'm going, down this road. Just kind of getting back to social media, just trying to get more of a positive note out here, because a lot of it is very, very negative and it gets a lot of attention, a lot of the negative stuff. So I'm hoping that this will help people out and that they'll just kind of get thinking about their lives in ways that you can sort of improve it, while we're here. Yes, we have Debbie. Debbie, good morning. She's saying, good morning, Kelly. Good to see you. Yeah, so that's where we are. You know what I mean? So like I said, you really just have to little steps, you can take little steps today that you can just say, okay, I want to, so like with can't stop walking, but yeah, make sure I got can't stop walking and mowing, but cruising. Right. Sorry. But he's saying, near death experience. And sorry, I'm stumbling on the name, but it's early. Can't stop walking, but love mowing and cruising. There we go. Woo. Yeah. So that's why he travels. And that's really good. And so I had for example, the one bucket list that I had was to go to South America. And I did do that, and I really laid out some plans to make that happen. And basically, what I did was I went through college. There's some college study abroad, and that's what a lot of people do. But yeah, you got to get those bucket list items done. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, keep being positive. It's very important for me to focus on positive vibes and people. Yes. Oh, and that leads to the next quote. Here we go. Awesome. That's a good, I love it. So here it is. So this is by, okay, let me make sure I got this right. Epictetus. And this is a philosopher from Turkey, but like a Greek Turkish philosopher, Epictetus. And he said, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Yes. And I think I'm going to put this one in the chat and I'll pin it. Okay. So it's me one more time. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Yeah. So the deal is, I'm telling you, I've been totally focusing on that in my life, probably in the last year, for sure. I think I was subconsciously doing it, but I've been very, very actively doing it now. It's just trying to be around people who are positive, because life is hard enough, like you go through your cycles, you have your ups, you have your downs, and you need people who can lift you up when you're down and show you love. So it's amazing. Like just a little pat on the back, a little, I appreciate you is a beautiful thing, because when you're gone, it's too late. Right. And that's what I was always thinking about too. We got Lisa Knits. Good to see you. Yes. Yep. And that's in Sweet Pea said is agreeing with can't stop walking. Yep. Yes. So, and everyone's saying, how you doing? Oh, okay. And hashtag VOM's in the background. She's working out. See, this is another thing that I think we all could probably use a little help on, that is getting outside and work, getting a little air. And so a couple of weeks ago, I was sort of talking through, if you're feeling like anxious or tired, not tired, but yeah, even if you're tired, a few years ago, like when I was working, they used to get these motivational speakers would come in. And I shouldn't say that with air quotes, but I kind of go motivational speakers. And I always thought that a lot of these people were, I don't know how to explain it. I won't say fake, but I just felt like they were trying just a little too hard. And they were trying to be cheerleaders. And for me, that does the complete opposite. Cause I kind of go, oh, this is so fake. But Oh yeah. So let me take a sip real quick. Just some H2O. This is my happy birthday. This is not my birthday. This is a happy birthday glass that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I love this. But anyway, I forgot I gave it to one of my kids and they never liked it. So I was like, well, I'm going to use it. Mm. But anyway, like the whole motivational speaker thing was like they were just trying to get people to sort of get excited about, going back after the big meeting. You have these big meetings a couple of times a year, and they tell you, all the goals. Yeah, we're going to do this in the next 6 months. This is going to happen in a year. This is kind of our 5 year plan. This is how we're going to get there. That kind of thing. And but they would get these speakers to come up, and I don't know if you've seen like on YouTube. Usually, like it's like the TED Talks. I shouldn't say, but those TED Talks. I always thought they come out. They're wearing like running suits, and I just kind of roll my eyes because I just feel like it's fake. I don't know. I mean, it's not fake, but it's fake. And so I'm just saying, like, I kind of move quietly. And so for me, I just like to say, like I just want to but I think the idea of the motivational speaker is good. And so I'm just finding it funny that that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Just thinking about how fake they are. But anyway, I see Barry's here. Storms, Radios, and Cats. Good to see you. Yes. And I don't know what you think about that, but that is just really funny. Like I just kind of like look at these people, and they come out and they're jogging. They're like, "Whoa, let's go!" And they're playing some loud like dance music behind you, and you're just like, okay. But anyway, but like I said, I'm definitely trying to build, a family, a group of people who are like minded, who are really trying to focus on the positives of it all. And so that's where we are. Oh, Zach sneeze. Yeah, it's been an allergy for me. Like the last couple of days, I was a little. I was outside in the yard, and so I'm one of those people who's just not good in the outside. I try, but I'm sort of meant to be doing other things. Like so, me going outside, I'm getting bit by mosquitoes and things like that. It's crazy. Let's see. So yeah. So everybody's saying hello. But yeah, and there's Lydia popped in. Good to see you, Miss Lydia. Yeah. So that's where we are. So like I said, so the key is, we're gonna try to build those people, uh, you know, be around people who are building you up and not tearing you down. So that's kind of like my full plan, for my social media journey. Now let me see. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna add the. I'm gonna pin this link in here. Hopefully it'll work. But I want to just leave that for you, for sure. And like I said, just we're just trying to keep moving forward, and remember those things that you want to do. Just think about those things that you want to do in the future, and just sort of lay out the plans, you know, on how you're going to get it done. And that's the harder part, like how am I going to get there? Like the cruising, like he talks about how he can't stop walking but love mowing and cruising. Talks about how he plans out his budget. See, for me, I know the scariest part of the whole travel thing is the budget. Because I say, how do you do it? But he does it. And he says, I'm doing this one. I put a deposit on this one. So it's really good. You know what I mean? I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna have to start sort of doing that. And that's one of those things too, is like the budgeting that you have to do to get to the plan. Like you need a new car. How are you gonna get that? You have to save the money, or you have to, not save the money, but whatever you want to do. You got to get your financing. If you want a house, you got to get your financing, your credit in order. You got to do the financing. Like there's steps, you know what I'm saying? It's a little things in life like that. So you have to figure out how you're going to get there. Are you going to work more? Are you going to save more? Do things like that. Yeah. So that's one of those things that you have to sort of ask yourself. You know what I mean? But yeah. So that's kind of how I've been sort of looking at life. And I realized how like I said, that this year has really flown by for me. And I don't know about anybody else, but that's kind of where I'm at. So let's see Zach say, yep, 9:15. That's correct. That's where I'm at. and everybody's saying hi. So anyway, so that's the one quote for today, and then I'm gonna read this other one, and it says, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement, and nothing can be done without hope and confidence." And oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Lisa's down under. Yeah, so she's saying it's late. So let me read that again. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. And that one is Helen Keller. And I don't know if you know who Helen Keller was, but she was a disabled person. She was blind and deaf, and like her story, it's very interesting. They dramatize it. There's movies that have been done about her life or whatever. And but the bottom line was, so the whole thing was her parents, because they didn't know how to deal with her, because she was born in the 1800s. She was born in 1880, something like that, 1880 something, and lived until about 1968. But anyway, and you can't quote me on that birth, but she was born in the 1880s, so, right? And they, I think she lived on a farm or a plantation or something like that. And her family was kind of like, I won't say they were ashamed, but I think they were kind of ashamed that she had a disability, that she had multiple disabilities. And they sort of let her run wild for years. You know what I mean? And then I can't remember how it came to that they brought in like some education for her, but they let her sort of stew for 7 or 8 years. Like she was kind of an 8-year-old wild animal. That's the only way I can put it. They kind of just let her go. And so she was kind of unruly. She would like hit people, lash out at people, do whatever. And they just sort of let her run wild, and she would just run wild in the yard, and they would just like let her go. And they never really interacted with her. But the thing about it was, the bottom line is, once they got her some education and they taught her manners, like she had to just learn manners, just straight up manners, and they taught her how to read and write and things like that. And those were new at the time, methods for teaching blind people, teaching deaf people, how to read and write. And so she was kind of born at this point where she was very fortunate that she was born at the point where people sort of knew what to do. But her parents really didn't know what to do, and they didn't send her to school. So they just sort of let her run wild. So but the bottom line is she ended up going to Radcliffe College, which was Harvard's female version, of their university. And so that's a big difference, from kind of a wild being to, and then she was a lecturer and things like that on people with disabilities, So that's kind of like, so that's her quote. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. And it's basically, people sort of picked her up when she was down and uplifted her and helped her along, and I think we all sort of need that from time to time. But anyway, so there's that. Yeah. So, so like I said, I've been really thinking about life and just how can I get better? And I'm trying to do, better every day, just a little bit better every day. And that's kind of the thing. And if you listen to a lot of people, if you're smart, that's kind of what you want to do. You want to be a little bit better than you were yesterday. You want to do, like I said, take those steps to those goals that you want to get to, and then and make it happen. And like I said, and you may not make all of your goals, but at least you'll sort of move yourself forward to something positive. And then and then you have sort of a sense of accomplishment when it's done, which is really cool. Yeah, because life is short. And I'm hoping I'm wrapping that up, in a nice bow there. Let's see. Lisa's working on a scarf. She's knitting. Well, Lisa knits. That's what she does. Yeah. Good for you. Yeah. And right now, so my goal today is I'm doing some decluttering. So my husband and I are going to the thrift store. We're going to do a donation. So we have some stuff put aside, and we're going to be doing that. And that's our plan. And so, you know, and this is something I'm going to probably talk about a little bit more later on, is just sort of like I've been thinking about, keeping up with the Joneses and trying to, like how things, you can buy a lot of stuff, but it doesn't really make you feel that good. It like it feels good in the moment and then it's gone. And that's sort of what we're doing, is just decluttering list a lot of stuff that we were buying and buying and buying. And then, like you don't even need it. Then you realize you don't need it. So we're really trying to take a step back, like in shopping, and kind of say, okay, are we going to eat this? Like buying food and stuff like that. Are we going to eat this? Are we going to use this? Let's make plans for these kind of things. And so, there's a lot of stuff like with that kind of thing. It's just that yeah, you got to think about. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh yes, yes, yeah. Lydia, let's see. Lydia's looming. Oh, she's doing a lot too. She's knitting on her loom, making round knitting loom pot holder. Nice. Diamond painting. Yep. So Lydia's doing some stuff. And then, oh, okay. Now this is interesting. Sweet Sid is saying, Shadow's work journal really helped me. Now, I hate to say, can you expound on that a little more? I'm curious to see, because I'm not familiar with what that is. But I think writing things down does help, right? And I'm not as precise about it. So I got this thing like a while back. This is just one of those school notebooks, and it's kind of pretty. It's a little fancy, but when I see a quotation that kind of grabs my attention, I sort of write it down and say, okay, we're gonna go with that one. Yeah. Let's see. And we got Shelly Morrison's here. Yay! Good to see you, Shelly Michelle Morrison. Good to see you. Good morning, Kelly. I bring it every day. Nice to see you. Yeah, good to see you too. Yes. And so Lydia's saying, yes, Lisa, I do different things. Yeah. And so, as you know, that's kind of what I've been trying to do. And I was like always a really curious child. So that's why you see my channel's like really, it's all over the place. And that's kind of because I'm always, sort of in the lab, you know, sort of like, I forget that show, but they're like, I'm in my laboratory doing stuff. Yeah, I'm usually playing around with stuff and just trying out different things. So yeah, that's good. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. Yes. So Carol's got, U-Haul full of yarn. Ooh. Now, any fancy? Is it fancy? Not fancy? A little bit of both? Yes. Or bougie? Let's see. Yes, yes, yes. That's cool. Yeah, Carol, yeah, got a big I would say inheritance of yarn. Yes. Yes. Yeah, your shadow is who you are. Oh, your shadow is who you are in the dark. This is what Sid's saying. It's about getting to know your bad habits and releasing past triggers, blocked energies. Ah, very nice. That now see that involves some reflection. I can tell you that. I can see that that's a huge thing. Yes. Yeah, and I think that's a thing that you really have to think about. Like I was thinking about, how in life, like a lot of times you try to keep up with other people, but you really can't because your story is going to be different from somebody else's. You know what I mean? And it's hard. It's hard to like because you see people around you and they're doing different things and things like that, and it's kind of you have to sort of realize that like your story is your story, and things are going to play out the way they're supposed to be, right? Yeah. So let's see. But it's interesting about the blocked energies and past triggers. Yeah, so it's interesting. Um so speaking about that, yeah, so I could share a little bit about it on that, Sid. So like past triggers and blocked energies. So what's interesting is like I'm thinking about myself. I was around a lot of like high achievers in my family, and that's like a lot of high pressure. You know what I mean? And it's one of those pressures that I really have to take off myself. Even though I'm not around these people anymore, I have to really say like, girl, it's not that serious. You know what I mean? And and you have to have fun. And so what I'm saying is I'm finding that you have to have balance. I really feel like in life you have to have balance. And I met some people, and I talked about it on a previous live stream. Like I met some people who are really high achieving people, but they were so much fun. Whereas I lived with high achieving people who were a drag, like they were just not fun. And life was just real tight, real tight. So I always had to kind of say, "Ooh, this is too serious." Like a lot of this stuff was just way too serious. And like you just have to sort of, give yourself a little grace to like let go and have fun and not always be on the high, like completely cranked up, all the time. So let's see. You know what I mean? And let me know what you think about that. Yeah, it's crazy. But let's see. So Carol's got a little bit of both. That's cool. Yes. Okay, so Sonja's making us breakfast. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Yes. And let's see. Everyone's saying, hey, there's Connor. Connor Cosmic Kid. Good to see you. Yes. Yep. Yeah, I made you some spaghetti. So if you go back on my last cooking show, Connor, you'll see it. Yeah, it was good. Still full though. That really I ate way too much of that. But anyway, but thanks for coming. And let's see. Okay, and then Shelly's saying hello to the chat fam. Hoping you're all doing well. Lots of summer smiles. Thank you so much. And I hope everything's going well with you and Alice. Hopefully she's doing okay. Yes, that's great. Yeah, yeah. So, so that's the thing that I learned that kind of as an old person or older person is that you have to sort of have balance. Like in everything in life. Like you can drive, grind, grind it out, work hard, work hard. But you have to play hard. So like, can't stop walking but love mowing and cruising is smart. Like he's saying, listen, I had a near death experience. I'm going to try to live my life and try to accomplish some of those things I want to do, and I want to see the world. So he's seeing the world. And that's pretty cool, you know. Now I used to love travel, but I swear when the air travel changed in 2001, I've hated it so much. I used to love traveling. And my dad sort of worked adjacent to an airline, so we would get pretty good seats and stuff like that on airlines, and it was wonderful. But the airlines, in my opinion, have been really bad, like in terms of customer service and squeezing as many people in. But I understand, from a business standpoint, what they have to do. But like travel, like I was telling my husband, like in the old days, we would go on these, we used to fly this one defunct airline, and they used to serve food on China and not in first class. And I remember like that food was really good. And I said, boy, you go on an airline now, like you're smashed in, like cattle, and then there's no food, like, or there's very little food. They might give you a bag of, chips that's like this big. It might be like a little tiny, bag of chips. And you just go, whoa. Like the things, it's really changed. And then going through the whole security thing is not fun either. Yeah. All right. Well, Miss Lisa, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. Oh, let me see. Yes. Okay, hang on, Connor. I'll sort of answer that question. Yes. So balance and peace. So that's what Sweet Pea Sid is saying. That's one of my biggest aspirations in life. And I can say over the past few years where I was, I'm getting there. That is good. Oh yeah. So that is beautiful. That's a beautiful, sentiment. Because let me tell you, oh my gosh. So like I said, I met some high achieving people, and during the week, they would grind it out and work, work, work. But on the weekends they had a blast. And I said, that is really cool. Yeah, so balance. Yeah. And the thing is, you don't want to do something so much that it becomes like obsessive. And I think that's what a lot of people have trouble with is the obsession of whatever. You know what I mean? And I know I've even been, guilty myself. And I'm just trying to think of an example. Just like continually, growing, continually making more money, more and more and more and more. Like it's never enough. Like it seems like it's never enough. And it's hard. And people, I don't know if you notice in the world, but like a lot of people, no matter what, they're never satisfied, and you have to sort of find that point. Like, I think you just have to celebrate those things as they come along. You know what I mean? Like I remember when I was just starting out, like when I got to, 100 subscribers, that was like, woo. Then I got to 200. I was like, woo, okay. But I sort of quietly celebrated all those things. You know what I mean? Then you get to 1,000. Like I'll just give you the YouTube example. Then you get to 1,000 and you get your monetization hours. Like I had to wait. I had to wait till 4,000 hours, which was a grind. And I had to wait for 1,000 people, which was a grind. And but I got there and it was like a slow process. And I think a lot of people, in a way, like I think if you get it fast and easy, you don't really appreciate. Oh, I don't know. I mean, like I said, for me, nothing's been fast and easy. But I see a lot of people, they go fast and easy, and I don't think they even appreciate it. And it's interesting, you know. Whereas for me, it's always been a grind. Yeah, it's always been a grind. But let's see. So, so I say balance, right? But while you're working your goals, you are putting forth a lot of effort. But let's see. Connor's saying, how many YouTube channels? I just have one. And oh, okay. So this one here, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to be as transparent. So for me, my first 4 months, I actually got a check on the YouTube channel. So you have to make $100. So I was able to exceed that for the first 4 months. But it sort of worked for the first 4 or 5 months, maybe. And then after that, it's been kind of here and there. Yeah. So just so I'll give you that. I'll give you that as an example. But it's hard because if people aren't watching you, and what I mean by watching you, and the thing that people don't, at least in my opinion, people don't understand about YouTube is you have to give people like content. You got to give people content that they're willing to watch. And it's not just live streaming, although live streaming's cool. But I found that if you have content that people want to watch and return and return and return, then you're good. So it's easier to earn that way. But a lot of people behind the scenes on YouTube are asking friends and family to sort of push them along, which does help. But really, it comes down to, in my opinion, content. So if you have nothing going, then it's going to be harder to grow, I think. So anyway, so that's kind of my experience, Connor, is that, I had like my first maybe, yeah, maybe it was 5 6 months I was cranking, but I've slowed down a little bit, and I'm not sure if it's like they call it seasonality, because they say some channels get more traffic. I think most people in YouTube get more traffic in the winter. Yes, that's what it is. And then in the summer it slows down. So I don't know. You know what I mean? So that's how it works. So earning that $100 is tricky. Excuse me, because you have to get that many views. You have to get a lot of views. And the people that are really making money on YouTube are getting millions of views. And they have a huge, membership situation where they've got like tons of people supporting them. And my husband watches all these people that have amazing YouTube channels. And he's kind of in the other room. I have to ask him the other guy's name. But there was a guy that we just watched who repairs toys. That's what he does. Old broken plastic toys. He gets them, action figures and things like that. And usually, like when little boys play with these toys, they break them. Little pieces of their little outfits break off. And the guy buys old ones and puts them together and does this kind of weird stuff like that. And his Patreon list, now check this out. Now, so a lot of people, you can get paid through memberships on YouTube. You can get paid through the super chats, which are really awesome. But this guy had a Patreon, and then what he did was in the middle of his video, he would roll his people's names of the people that supported him on Patreon, and that list ran in my mind for about 45 seconds, and it was just going down the screen. So it must have been like 500, 600, 700 people were just paying him to do his thing. And I said, wow, that's amazing. Now, I'm not there, but I think that's really cool. And the reason why I say, getting back to Connor's comment, is he does something that people are really interested to watch. So, and literally he has a camera over his back and he's working this stuff and he's painting stuff and, 3D printing stuff. So there's just like a lot going on. But I think that kind of stuff, people do real well. Do better, I think, than like other people like me. Like I'm kind of okay. Like I'm in the middle. But let's see. Let me go back here. So only one channel at this point, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm always like thinking about it. And then Lisa's gone to bed. Good to see you. Oh, here Carol said. Here we go. Let me go back. Sorry to run my mouth so long, but I just wanted to sort of fill that in and explain like kind of what my theories on this thing. So Carol said I flew to Boston a week ago Friday and had 6 delays in Dallas. Yeah, Dallas is a big airport. I've flown out of there. It was miserable in the middle of the night. Everything was closed. Yes, that is real. That struggle is real. Yeah, I've been there. And I remember I had to fly one time. I was like 6 months pregnant or maybe 7. I was getting there. And because of the delays, I had snacks in my bag, but I didn't bring enough. And the same thing happened. The airport closed on me. And the baby's inside going, "Dude, feed me." I'm going, "I have nothing left." And so yeah, and I ran out of snacks because of the delays. Yeah. So that's terrible. And that's the thing with these airports. But I'm even saying just on the airline, it's not comfortable in there, And I feel bad for like tall people and heavy people. I'm a little shrimp, so I fit in the seats. I'm good. But like most people, have a really hard time if you're bigger, like taller, wider, all the things. Yep. Oh, I was expecting Tom Hanks to show up handing out crackers and ketchup. Yeah, that's crazy. And when the store when the and those restaurants don't stay open. Like I remember, I could have sworn that they stayed open later. Because like one time I got to an airport on a Sunday, it was like 4:45 and they had closed at 4. And I went, 4 p.m. on a Sunday? Like Sunday's a crazy travel day for a lot of people. No food. It's tragic. Yes. Let's see. Can you make another channel sometime? I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And we got, Isalla's here, Crafts and Dolls. Yeah, we'll see. But I'll let you know. I'll let you know. But like I said, it's good to have a backup channel because I've heard, that people are losing their channels for multiple reasons. But it's good to have a backup, I would say. Oh, okay. You should do a short stream like the new ones. Okay, you'll get more viewers. Yep. Yeah. I do a little bit of both. Yeah, I do a little bit of both. And okay. Oh, you're going to Zoom. Maybe. We'll see. I have a little bit of I have some chores to do, Lydia, but we'll see. I might pop in for a minute. Let's see. Oh, first, great news. No chemo. Okay, very good, Shelly. Thank you. So back to work. Wednesday. 2nd. Our dear Duncan, 14. We must return to our Lord. Praise near 15 years. Wow. No chemo. That's great. And back to work on Wednesday. Our dear Duncan, 14 plus. We must return to our Lord. Praise near 15 years. Wow. That's amazing. That's good. No chemo. It's hard. Yeah, that chemo's tough. I've seen people go through it. I've not gone through it, but I've seen and heard. Yeah, and Lydia has a second channel. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's good to have a backup. And now there's somebody that I follow on YouTube that has had their channel taken down multiple times, like at least 10 times. And so they've had to restart and they've lost a lot of good work. And so it's always good to back up, you can back up your videos, on a hard drive. Like here's one here, actually. I've been sort of doing this, with my live streams. This is just a little Western Digital hard drive. But yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Shelly. Yeah. Yeah. I always think like I said, health is very important. And that's the other thing, I've been really trying to eat better and I've been trying to sort of work out here and there. I need to work out more consistently, but I think like in life, so my husband and I had this conversation last night and actually I had a conversation with somebody else too. As you know, like I do a little cooking on Fridays and part of the cooking is that I discovered like there's a lot of like food recalls and things like that. And I really don't want to get into that today, but the thing that I'm realizing is that we really all, just as a nation, real in the U.S. for sure. Canada, luckily, it sounds like their government sort of takes care of them in regard to like a lot of chemicals. Like they don't seem to have as many chemicals and pesticides that they allow in their food source, you know. And the United States has been really iffy with the food source. And let's see. Yeah, and so the thing is, I like you said, it took me a while to kind of figure it out, but what I've noticed is that, you know, we really have to be a little more mindful of what we're eating. And I don't know what the statistics are, but like when I was growing up, they were always saying heart disease is the cause of, you know, was the leading cause of death in the United States. But I don't think anybody ever said why. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would read that in newspaper articles and see it on the news and they would say heart disease, heart disease. But I would say, but why is this happening, right? And and then like I sort of stumbled into like the whole fast food thing. And for me, that was really clear that like I had to remove that out of my life. Because, you know, like we get so caught up in things being really, really easy. And I get it, you know, like life is busy, it's hard, but it all kind of comes down to, you know, how do you want your quality of life, you know, right? And so you have to give up some of that stuff that's not so great for you. And and then they sort of discovered that like all this stuff is really due to sugar, you know, like diabetes, you know, it's all related to not all, but like a lot of it's related to sugar intake. Like there's a lot of type 2 diabetes, which is the one that it's due to diet, right? And I'll just give you an example. Like I was working with this lady who found out, you know, she was type 2 diabetic and they put her on um I think it was an insulin pills, but they put her on that. And then they said, you know, you got to lose some weight. And she's a baker, right? She's somebody who bakes for a living and for fun. And you know, she said, "Oh, well, I'm going to keep eating this stuff." And I went, "You can't eat this stuff." I'm not a doctor, but like if you have type 2 diabetes, you really can't eat sugar. You really shouldn't. You know what I mean? You have to minimize all that stuff. And she's like, "Well, I'm just gonna keep going." And I'm like, "Oh boy." You know, and then you know, diabetes, like if it goes unchecked, like all these bad things happen to your body and it's brutal. And I said, "Wow." You know, she was just like, "Nope, I'm not doing it." And I said, "Wow, that's kind of brutal." Anyway, but the long story short was, you know, she had a few setbacks, but once she started following the plan of her eating, when she cleaned up her eating, she dropped a lot of weight without doing anything, and her blood sugar got to the point where she didn't need medication. And it's like, boom, that is such an easy fix. You know what I mean? Just sort of just being more mindful of the stuff she was eating, and she sort of, you know, she sort of let a lot of that, you know, baked goods and stuff go. But she was really like adamant, "I'm not doing it." And I went, "Ooh, you are the one that needs to do it," right? But anyway, it's just interesting. But it's just things like that. And I think people just get caught up in everything in a package because it's easy, you know. And just with a little bit of planning, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you can make that's pretty simple and easy and doesn't have a whole lot of preservatives in it. And I'm hoping that it, you know, if anybody's thinking about doing things like that, I do have a lot of stuff on my cooking show that can sort of help you, you know, get yourself more, you know, like quicker meals, but easier, but without having to use something in a box. And you know, and if something has more than you know, 5, 6 ingredients, then you're it's not probably good for you. You know what I mean? And that's my opinion. And you know, there's just a lot of preservatives and things like that. So just, you know, like I said, all I want people to do is just rethink running to that fast food place, you know, rethink using all that prefab food because you really don't have to do it. You know, you know, it's pretty easy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this little quote in here, and and this is where I think, you know, I'm going to almost end it right here. So I'm going to put this in, and this is that quote by Epictetus. And this is the one about building family. So I'm really appreciate everybody coming in and supporting, you know, supporting my mad scientist ways. Yes. So I'm going to put this in. So once again, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you. I'm going to put this in there. Uplift you, whose presence, let me flip it over, calls forth your best. Yes. And so that's the other thing, the people that are really doing things, those are the people that you should spend your time with, that have similar goals, that are like-minded, and that are really trying to do things. And so the what I'm saying is, like, the negative people, the people that are causing drama, those are the people that you should, you know, remove yourself from. But anyway, calls forth your best. Okay, so here it is. And I'm gonna, and this is Epictetus. Yes. All right, there it is. I'm gonna put this in there, pin this, and I want you to meditate on this today. And I hopefully this will get people moving. But remember, like I said, life is short. Think about things that you want to do, and then just figure out, how you can get yourself there. And try not to stagnate. I mean, it's really easy to stagnate, but you know, so like I said, we're all here to uplift each other, be positive, starting the week on a positive note. And yeah. So we're gonna do that. And that's where we're gonna be. Yes. All right. Oh, okay. So Isella, yes. Okay. Isella said, "Oh, it's not easy." Here we go. Yes, I'm glad that she's here because she can really speak to this, because this is her life. It's not my life. Yeah. So it's not easy being diabetic and controlling sugar intake. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, being diabetic. Yep, I got you. Yep. Oh, do I have TikTok? I am not on TikTok. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely hard to maintain the sugar, because there's a lot of high fructose corn syrup in a lot of foods, and it's really hard to avoid. But the one thing that you can do is you can actually avoid, like salad dressings, and a lot of sauces have a lot of excess sugar in them. So that's something, if you make your own salad dressing, things like that, barbecue sauce, you can really help yourself out. And a lot of people, I noticed on Instagram, there's a good recipe for ketchup. If you like ketchup, there are a couple of good recipes for making your own. And right now, with the gardening and stuff like that, there's a lot of summer tomatoes. You can actually do that, which is good. Oh, donuts. Well, I'm actually not a donut person, but there are these Amish donuts. Connor's asking, that the Amish make in this area, and they're either called apple cider donuts or something like that. And there's a guy that comes to the farmers market, and he has a little machine where he makes it. They make it from scratch, and he shapes the donut, and it drops it in the oil, and it sort of goes. It's sort of like a vat, and the donut goes through with on a conveyor belt, and that's the only one I'll eat. It's this Amish donut, but we don't do it often because it is pretty high in sugar. Yeah, we have to watch that. Yeah, but yeah, but it's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. And but like those donut those donut factories, I call them, that you see all over the place. I've heard that, like, a lot of those are prefab, so if you see any of those Amish farmers markets, and you see those, like, they do a lot of baked goods and donuts and stuff like that. But like I said, sparingly, I eat them, but not as much as I used to. Yeah, I used to really enjoy them, but they're good. I enjoy, like, the Amish stuff. It's so good. Lemons and limes, those are good for you. Yeah, they say those are great. And I buy them, like, so what I try to do is I try to buy them in the store. And I don't know if if you go with your parents, Connor, but, like, when you go in the store, usually every week, they get produce and stuff in. And usually I try to look and see, like, if there's lemons. And lemons are really good if you have fish. And then you can make your own lemonade. So that's the whole thing. Like, if you wanted lemonade, instead of buying the stuff in a bottle, you can make your own and then control how much sugar and lemon in there that you had. And fresh lemons are really good. And people don't do that anymore, but that was something that we used to do sort of, when I was younger. But so lemons and limes, and that it's good on fish. A lot of the Mexican meals use those. Yep. Let's see. And then let's see. Isel saying, "What have you heard about taking a tablespoon? Oh, of red cider. Oh, I've heard that. Yeah." And there's a couple of doctors on TikTok. I mean, not TikTok, but Instagram and YouTube that talk about that. Yeah, and it seems to help. Like I find though, you have to be careful because it's really acidic. And I find that that hurts my stomach. Like when it goes in there, I feel the burn, but it's supposed to help your body, burn food a little faster. But some people put it in tea, some people put it in hot water, but I'd rather just take a shot of it just to kind of get it in because I feel like it makes other things taste funny. But I think it's great on salad. See, I don't know if it works the same way, but I like vinegar and oil on a salad, and I think that's good. For me, that's easier to get it in. But drinking it out of the bottle, you have to watch because it's very acid on your teeth. You got to be very careful. Because I've been guilty. Like I used to take lemons and limes and chew on them, and I know the times that I've tried that apple cider vinegar, it does burn. Like it burns my stomach. It burns like all the way down, and I feel it burning on my teeth, which is weird. Like I can feel it. Yeah. Oh, you make lemonade. Yeah, see, lemonade's great. And I do have a pancake recipe on my channel. Yeah, I've done those. But when I was young, like when my kids were younger, we used to make a lot of pancakes and stuff like that. But we've really sort of minimized, the flour just a little bit, because but I'll tell you the homemade stuff is way better. Although it's easy, to make it's easy just to buy the box, you know what I'm saying? But if you look on the box, it's got so many ingredients. So many ingredients, and you just sit there and you go, you don't even know what it is. And they're mostly chemicals. And that's the thing that's really scary. So right now it is, what time is it? Oh, there it is. 9:50 a.m. Eastern. So I'm in the Eastern time zone. Yeah. We got the butt files. How are you doing? Good to see you. And thanks so much for the support. Really appreciate it. So that's it, you guys. We've really we cover like a lot of topics. And like I said, well, I pinned to the top of the chat. Oh, Christmas songs. Oh yeah, they're starting it. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw, they've already started they started Halloween in like some of the stores right at 4th of July. And I just went, "Oh no, it's already starting." Yeah, it's crazy. And in fact, we were in the craft store, Michael's, and people are already buying that stuff. It's crazy. Yes. Oh, you're Eastern also. But yeah, I mean, they're really pushing this Christmas stuff because you have to understand, and you got to really be careful. And this is what I was thinking of too about life. Like Christmas. Christmas is the biggest thing. Like trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to maintain buying all those gifts and things. And I noticed that like most people, not all, but like most people pretty much have what they need. So you sort of have to draw the line like how much more stuff do you need? And unfortunately Christmas is sort of a it's become a commercial holiday than more of a, religious holiday or spiritual holiday. So it's crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean? So just be I don't know, like I said, I told my husband and my kids like this wasn't a popular view, but I realized that when people like we buy like what we need, what we want more or less, not always, but like here and there, when we're able to pay for it, you know what I'm saying? And uh but I noticed that like a lot of kids they have so many toys. You go into somebody's house, there's so many toys in there and they don't even play with them. And that to me is like really tragic. So then you go, here comes Christmas, you're going to buy more toys. It's like they're good. Like they're already good. Like they don't need more. So you really have to say to yourself, like, when does it end? Like when are you going to draw that line? Like, do I have enough? When do you have enough? That's the question. And and I sometimes struggle with that as well. So yeah, Christmas is crazy. Like that holiday has really like I have very, very mixed feelings about it. Because I think a lot of people feel like they're under pressure to buy all the things. Yeah. So, so anyway, so there's that. And then I'm going to put this other little quote in here too. And then I think we'll wrap it up. But yeah, I'm going to put this one in too. Oh, there's Jamie. Good morning. Good to see you. All right. So yeah, check out the link at the top, Jamie. This is where we are today. This is one of the places. Let's see if I can spell this. Yes. Now this is a long quote, and this one is from Helen Keller, and I'm gonna pin this one too. But basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build the family, of people who are like minded too. And I'm gonna put this there. You've collected more dolls than you can display. Yeah, I'm there. See, yes, and I'm there too. I did buy some dolls, and one day we'll have to get together. We'll talk about them. Because I've been sort of liking what I started doing, and I'll have to I have to go. They're in storage right now, but I was talking about way back when Toys R Us and those other stores were going out of business. I started buying like weird music dolls. So I bought like a Michael Jackson doll. And then I saw Vanilla Ice. And then I bought a Vanilla Ice doll. And then I saw MC Hammer. Yeah, MC Hammer. And I had to buy that one. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like I was going down this rabbit hole of dolls. I forgot to get Justin Bieber. That's what I wanted to get. But then I bought Urkel. Then I bought the Urkel doll. So I was like, what the heck? But I just thought it was hilarious. Like these dolls. But that's sort of what I started out. And then I kind of like let it rest after that. And but I just thought that was the funniest thing, because people were like, like Michael Jackson at that point was like everywhere. And then, then Vanilla Ice, like all these people, and the MC Hammer, it just went real crazy. Yes. But that's the whole thing. Yes. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. But yeah, I understand Isella. and for me, it may be a little bit of yarn, used to be clothes. Like I don't care anymore. But I used to buy, like a lot of clothes. And now I'm good, But I'm going to leave this last quote here. And this woman is very wordy. But check this out. Without hope. And this will be the closing thought today. And confidence. Okay, we're going to do this. And this one is Helen Keller. And, if you don't know who that is, check it out. So I'm going to put this one in. There it is. So this one is optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. And there it is. And that's kind of the final thought for today. But like I said, I'm still trying to build the family, build a like-minded crew of people. And I appreciate everybody, for coming in. And then hopefully this will give you, a start on the week, with this optimism quote. And yeah, there we are. There we are. Yep. So that's it. So let's see. Anything else? Did I miss anybody? Great quote. Yeah, interesting, right? Yeah, and so I sort of told her story a little bit earlier. So if you want to rewind and check it out, it's very, very interesting, her story. But oh yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. So anyway, so you guys have a great week, have a great day, have a great week. And get out and do have a little fun, put some balance in your life, eat well, get a little walking in, enjoy nature. I even though I enjoy YouTube, I always say get out of the house and have fun and get some fresh air and get those get that body moving a little bit. It's all good. All right, so let's do this here. I'm going to put this last thing here. I'm going to say, if I can scroll, every computer is different. Here it is. Yeah, thank you all and much love to everybody. Let's see. Is it going there? Yeah, let's go. Oops. Save. All right, hold on. Yeah, here we go. So thank you all and much love. And then I'm going to play out to my theme song. So I bring it every day. And thank you, Drizzle Stank, wherever you are. He's been my inspiration and my musical partner. And then I'd just like to say thank you for watching and share this with people if you feel like it. And thank you so much. Please like and share and subscribe. All right. All right now. So thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.